Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Family Day for those here in Ontario, and happy President's Day holiday for those that are in the United States of America here on this Monday, February 19th, 2024 as well. And also, it is my first anniversary on being on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia. And I want to say thank you to Ryan O'Neill for having faith in my talk show a year ago, which is hard to believe as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West here in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or you can email them at info@barrycullen.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is on WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia, weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern as well. I hope everyone's doing well on this holiday Monday, whether you're in the States or in Canada. And I'm looking forward to my guest today. This is her first appearance on my show, and her name is Rachel Lipsky. She's a Nashville recording artist, country rock, and has opened up for Blake Shelton and Keith Urban, and has performed for over 100,000 military troops, touring 7 times overseas. And she's got a new single coming out soon, I Don't Give Up Beep, coming out on Friday, March 1st. And we're going to talk to Rachel Lipsky about her music career and how she got started out.
Hey.
Good afternoon.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm feeling a lot better. I'm about 90% now. So thank you for asking. And Rachel, I want to say it's a real honor to have you on my show today.
Oh, thank you so much for having me on here. It's an honor to be here.
I was going to say, how's the weather in Nashville right now?
It's beautiful. I am a lover of snow and cold, but today is sunny and chilly. It is absolutely beautiful.
Are you originally from Nashville, Tennessee?
I'm originally from Denver, Colorado.
Denver, that's why you like cold and snow.
Yes. Yes.
So, how much of an adjustment was it going from Denver, Colorado to Nashville?
The summers were really hard to get used to because I was not used to the very hot, humid summers. And then I got to go overseas and entertain our troops in Djibouti, Africa. And I said I would never complain about Tennessee heat again.
Absolutely. Our summers here in Ontario can get hot and humid as well. But as for winter, we haven't had much snow here, and we've had a few real cold days, but it's been really a mild winter here. And I do like my winter. I like my cold temps, and I like my snow. I like having the 4 seasons.
Oh, yes, absolutely. There's so much beauty in every season, for sure.
Hey, I saw one of your TikTok videos with your dog. What's your dog's name, and what breed are they again?
Her name is Aspen, and she is a golden retriever. And we picked her up in Arvada, Colorado. So she's also a Colorado girl. And she's about 2.5. So she's still puppy and so much fun.
Do you have any other pets besides her?
We do not, no. Okay. How about you?
I have a cat named Latte, a Siamese cat I adopted from a Humane Society, but I'm hoping to get a dog again, and I'm currently volunteering with a local Humane Society here, walking dogs that are looking for homes. So wow. I'm getting that in. It's hard sometimes because you're happy to see them be adopted, but you also get attached to them the longer they're down there.
Oh, I bet. And then having that bonding time, walking together and enjoying the outdoors and each other, it's hard to probably see them get adopted.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to ask you this as well, Rachel. What were your thoughts on the passing of Toby Keith, and how much of an impact he had on the music industry and maybe possibly your career as well?
Yeah, he wow, talk about like epic songwriting. Epic, just probably Be Somebody, I think was my favorite song of his, even though he had so many amazing songs. Should Have Been a Cowboy. So many. And but he he was very inspirational in the fact that he it's hard, to make it in the industry, and he had a bit of a struggle, but he was winning awards. He was still writing songs. He was losing and he was still writing songs, and he was like, had a work ethic that is truly admirable. And, I loved all that he did for our military. That is a huge thing for me to give back to our military. So it was very inspirational to watch him do as much as he did for our men and women in uniform all over the world. When we go overseas and entertain troops, it's not just US, uh, we get troops from Canada, Australia, Georgia, all these different countries that come together. It's amazing.
He was proud to be an American, and also the troops as well. And he just passed away too young. Like, I'm 52 now, but I don't find 50s that old, or even 60.
No.
And unfortunately, cancer doesn't discriminate, and it's just awful. Cancer, any kind of form of cancer, it's just is awful.
Absolutely. And you just have to enjoy every single day and be thankful for every single day that we wake up in the morning, because you truly never know when it's going to be your time.
Absolutely, and that's why I started this new career of mine just 4 years ago, and this is something I have a passion for. And just talking to you, Rachel, and most of my guests, or all my guests, I love hearing their passion and their stories, and how they got into their careers as well.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm so proud for you. I'm so happy for you. A lot of people are afraid to go after their dreams and do what they want to do. And you are never too old. It's never too late, even though there are people that will tell you that it is too late. And no, you just go with your gut, and that's what you have to do.
Age is just a number. And
Yeah.
can you? I know you can't say a lot about your song, but would you like to promote your new single coming out on Friday, March 1st, a little bit?
Yes, it's called I Don't Give a. We do have an explicit and a clean version coming out. So in
Okay.
case we need a radio edit, or you can't listen to a naughty word in the presence of children, both are coming out. This is the first song I wrote with my producer Jeff Copeland, and it was such a fun, we wanted to write an anthemic song, and it started out as something I could hear at a football field, or in the hockey rink, or you're at the gym and you're like, oh man, I need to dig a little bit deeper, or we need to get back motivated again. This is where this song came from, and it kind of morphed into this motivational empowerment anthem that can fit so many different situations. And it's fun that March is the month of Women's History Month, and so many people, and of all ages and ethnicities, I feel like we'll be able to relate to this, and that's what we wanted.
Just thoughts on your producer, Jeff Copeland, as well. And how long did it take you to write this song as well? And the recording studio for this?
This song we finished in one session, and in Nashville, you typically book like a 3-hour writing appointment with somebody, and we finished this pretty quickly within that 3 hours and got the demo done. It doesn't always happen like that. And we didn't end up recording this until a few months later. But it was just it just falls out sometimes, and we had so much fun writing it. And Jeff, who by the way is Canadian, and
Oh, cool.
he produces Tim Hicks and Blackjack Billy. He's amazing, and he has just a wonderful repertoire of melodic, catchy hooks, and he's so much fun to write with. So this was just such a fun song. We always have fun together, but this was our first one.
How important was it how important was it to find the right producer and the right agent when you first started out in the music industry?
Oh, it's very important. You always want people on your team who really believe in you and what you're doing, and because that comes out in the finished product. And I've had another great producer, Shane Barrett, who produced my early stuff, and these two producers have been amazing and wonderful assets to me, and helping to create my sound and morph into what we've morphed into today.
How satisfying to see your music get released. And do you have any music on vinyl records yet?
So it's amazing. It's quite an amazing feeling. I never take it for granted when we get to release music, and there's so much that goes into behind the scenes of pre-release, release day, and then post-release. But thank goodness we live in such an amazing time that as an independent artist, I can record music whatever I want, whenever I want, create those release dates, be creative with my cover art, be able to say the F word, if I want to. And not a lot of artists that get signed get to have that creative say in their music and when they get to release, if they ever get to release music. So thank goodness we live in a time where you can be independent and still thrive. But I do not have anything on vinyl record yet.
It's funny, I'm almost 52, and now it seems like the older I get, everything from the 70s and 80s is coming back. Roller skating, bell bottoms, vinyl records.
Yes.
I'm assuming cassettes at some point will come back in style. Hopefully the 8-track doesn't, but it's just amazing how popular vinyl records are now again.
It's so true. Actually, my husband just found this post from Dio's team where they did a visual on a vinyl, and that's gonna be the new thing, which is so cool. And it's so fun. It is fun to see that come back.
I'm gonna put you on the spot with this question. Do you remember the first song that you wrote and the first time you performed in front of a live audience?
The first time I wrote, yes, I remember, and I did not want to write for the longest time. I would cut other people's songs, and I still, to this day, listen to a lot of submissions whenever people send me songs. I love it because may the best song win. And it's not always my song that is the best song to cut out there. But I did not want to write, and I would go to pitch sessions. My mentor, Marty Martin, rest in peace, he's passed away now, but he would take me to these songwriter sessions that he had put together, and these wonderful songwriters would pitch me their songs, and I would take them home and re-listen, and then I would perform those songs out live and covers. But then Marty talked me into writing, and I didn't think I'd be any good at it. And he was like, you just got to do it. You just got to get in there and start cutting your teeth. And he set me up with these amazing people in California that helped me cut my teeth as a really young songwriter. Oh, I would say I was 20, I think 19, 20 when I started writing. And I'm so thankful I did, because there's a lot of situations you can probably write yourself out of and write yourself into, because you never know what door will open first. The first time I performed, I've always been in choirs at school and church. And I've always had a passion. I always knew I wanted to be a singer, but I'm really shy. I've gotten better at learning to be more of an extrovert, but I was painfully shy when I was really young, and it was hard for me to step out in the spotlight. But my first big opportunity as a solo artist was to open for Toto. I was 16 years old in high school, and I got to sing. My teacher would only let me pick a like a Broadway song. So I picked You're the One That I Want from Greece and got to open the show for Toto. You guys can find that on YouTube.
That's awesome. And I grew up listening to Toto back in the 70s and 80s. And there's this one song, I can't remember of it, but it's one of my favorites. Love is Always on Time or something like that. I think
Oh,
that's what it's called.
yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
But
good.
that's a great song. But as for Marty, so he had a huge impact on your music career.
Yes, he did. He was an amazing songwriter, uh, mentor for so many people, helping to connect. Uh, that's what one thing I love about Nashville is there's a mentorship. Not that he was in Nashville, but he had that Nashville uh, quality of taking people under his wing and helping them out.
Anyone in your family besides yourself have musical ability?
My mom can sing. My younger sister can sing, but they never pursued it.
Okay. And as for myself, I tried karaoke once in New York City. I had fun. I did 3 songs, but I don't have any musical ability at all. But it was a lot of fun doing it anyways.
It's so much fun. I think everyone should go karaokeing and just let loose and enjoy.
Absolutely. Now, my show is here in Ontario near Toronto, and my show is in Georgia. So, can you tell my audience just a little bit about yourself and when exactly did you take an interest in the music industry, and who were some of your early musical influences?
I always knew since I was very, very young, since I can remember, that I wanted to be a singer. And my parents, um, worked for the government. They didn't know how to get me into the music industry, but they were so supportive from the get-go. So they would put me in school and church choirs, and then my mom would take me out to open mics, anything and everything we could find, karaoke contests. She was just like, you need to get out there, you need to meet people, and you need to just do it and perform. And she was right, and so sometimes I would call out of school the next day because we were out at a karaoke contest the night before, but my mom would let me, and that was so kind of her. And so I was born and raised a good portion of my life in Denver, Colorado, and then my dad got transferred to California. So I lived in Southern California for a little while, and country music has a big stronghold there. Bakersfield used to be a complete rival with Nashville, Tennessee. I mean, you're talking Dwight Yoakam, Buck Owens, Gary Allen is from California. So there still were some places to perform. It wasn't as much as it was in the past. And my friend Marty, who was trying to get me to write, was also telling me, Rachel, you need to go to Nashville. You need to move to Nashville. It's going to expedite your career. And I would make trips out in Nashville. And then I decided, I'm like, yep, I need to move out here. So I did. And with the U-Haul and hardly knowing anybody. And it was very scary, but very liberating at the same time.
How competitive when you first got into the music industry and you first got to Nashville, how competitive is the music industry, and how important is it to surround yourself with the right people and obviously have a strong support system with family and friends?
Yeah, it's of course it's very competitive. There's a lot of people want to make it, and it's hard, very hard to find a supportive group around you that wants to see you succeed. And so it's, to me, especially like when I first moved out to Nashville, I was like, I was single, and I'm like, I never want to date anybody in the music industry because this town is too small. And if things go weird or something happens, you never know who you're going to be working with in the future, or who you're going to, it all comes back around. It's kind of, crazy that way. And, but of course I met my amazing husband who was in the music industry, and he's awesome. So we've been together forever. But finding friends and co-writers that believe in you and want to see you succeed is very hard. But thank goodness I have my core people. You don't need to find that many. You just need to find those core people that really believe and truly believe in you and want to help you and have your back. And, you're going to meet people that you think are your friends, and then turn out not to be. And that's just part of life. I think that's in everything.
And that even applies to media too. You have to know the difference between friendships and acquaintances, which are like business connections as well. But
Yeah.
one thing I wanted to ask you, and I forgot, I should have wrote it down now. So if I remember it later, I'll ask you. But the music industry, how much have you seen it change in even the last 10 years?
Oh, it's been drastic. Absolutely drastic. And it's okay. It's social media is constantly changing the game, and very quickly. So trying to keep up with it is almost a full-time job. But there are people out there that are trying to help you online, or courses. YouTube is fantastic. And just always trying to learn and keep your finger on the pulse at the same time. It's tricky, but we do live in a great time where so many things can work in your advantage.
Absolutely. Now I remember what I wanted to ask you. For those that are watching this live streamed or later listening or on WQE 99.1 FM, Rachel, what advice would you give to somebody that's trying to get into the music industry right now, currently in 2024?
Yeah, I would say find a mentor if you can. Put yourself out there. Please go. I know it's so hard, but go to industry events. Become a member of the CMA, ACMs, because they have get-togethers. They have Christmas parties. This is where you're going to meet a lot of your people. You pretty much need to just start talking to people at these events, showcases, go talk to different PROs, performing rights organizations. So BMI, ASCAP, CSAC, it's SOCAN in Canada. And go try to talk to somebody, a representative at these PROs, and get to know some of these representatives, because they can also help you. If they decide they want to help you, they can be pivotal in your career. And I would say write as much as you can with whoever you can. Just go for it, get in there, get in the mix, start meeting people. And that's really a lot of it.
On average, how long is your songs? I know I've talked to some other musicians and they say usually between 3 and 4 minutes, but I wanted to ask you, typically for your music.
Yeah, I would say 2.5 to 4 minutes. It's pretty rare that we go over that, or go under the 2.5 mark. But what it was like, there were a lot of bad information things floating around for a little while, like, Spotify is only going to be playing 3-minute and under songs next year. And there's things that float around, but there's not always true. It's, you want to write your song and do what's best for the song, not trying to chase what may or may not be the trend at the time. Write what is best for the song, and it will, you can never stop a great song. No one can.
For those that are getting in the music industry, do you really feel they should learn to do the writing part of it first, but then before the performing part?
Not necessarily. I think I think just going at it, doing everything you can, perform. I was always a better singer than I was a writer for the longest time. So I was performing all the time and was a little bit later of a writer, and there's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own path, and your timing is going to be different than someone else. I think that's something that's super important to point out for people. It's hard to not want to compare yourself to everyone else and like, oh, well, this person got to have their Grand Ole Opry debut at 19 years old and I'm 22. Like, I'm already behind the curve. No, you're not. Like, that was their path. You have your time. You just need to focus on you. I mean, it's good to be aware of what other people are doing and to have goals, but please don't compare yourself to others to the extent where you're hindering yourself, because that could really crush you.
Mindset is huge, and what you're saying too obviously applies to the music industry, but it also could apply to the media industry, which I'm going into, and other professions, because sometimes people see other people getting a little more success than them and then they start doubting themselves. To me, having a strong mindset and strong support helps.
So important in everything, like you just said.
All right, this leads to the next question. I know we already talked about Toby Keith, but who are some of your favorite musicians, both female and male, and some bands when you were growing up in Denver, Colorado? And I have to ask you this since you're from Denver. You like Denver Broncos and John Elway?
Huge fan. I was going to tell you. Um, So I like to have our guest bathroom all broncoed out, shower curtains, the towels are blue and orange. And John Elway was my first crush ever. So I'm a huge fan of John Elway, huge fan of the Denver Broncos through and through. And but growing up, I was listening to Mary Chapin Carpenter is my ultimate favorite female artist. John Denver, Dwight Yoakam, gosh. But also my parents were listening to, Blondie and ZZ Top and Pat Benatar, Joan Jett. So I have this big repertoire of influences that I've pulled from throughout the years, because I truly love all kinds of music. Everything from big band, classical, rap. I would go through phases as a kid and just want to listen to classical. I would just crave it all the time. And then I would get on the rap bandwagon and I would listen to that. And I think that a lot of that has influenced my music today, and you can hear that.
Favorite John Denver song?
Thank God I'm a country boy.
Good choice. I was going to say that one, and Country Roads.
Oh, that's a great one. That's an absolute iconic song.
Have you performed those yet? Have you sang those at live performances yet?
I have performed Country Roads. Actually, it was, I'm going to get emotional because when we went to Afghanistan to entertain our troops, we would visit 2 to 3 forward operating bases a day, and for 9 days. And one of the FOBs, it's FOB, forward operating base. We met we met all these amazing people everywhere, but one of the gentlemen that we met ended up dying,
I'm sorry.
getting killed. And so his unit asked me and my band to come down to Georgia once they got home, Georgia, the state, and perform at his remembrance dinner. And they all got together, and Country Roads was his favorite because he was from West Virginia. And so we performed Country Roads at that dinner.
Music has so much emotions because you hear a certain song, you think of a certain time, decade, place. It's emotional because some songs I hear, I think of my late dad because I grew up with my dad in the 70s and early 80s before he passed away. And there's certain music that as soon as I hear it, I think of my dad or memories of people of from my past as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Music is truly amazing.
Absolutely. And since we were on this subject, can you just tell us about touring in all these countries? I think 23 countries with the armed U.S. Armed Forces, and you've done this 7 times. How did this come about, and how proud that as an American to do that for your country?
I always knew, 'cause I've always had an extreme love for our military. I have always wanted to give back to them, and the only organization I knew at the time that brought entertainers over was the USO. And so I would reach out to them, and multiple times, and they constantly told me that they would never take me because I'm not on the Billboard charts. I'm not a famous artist, and they would never take me. I'm like, cool. So then I would reach out to them again later, and I put it on my calendar. And because in just about every industry, but especially the music industry, you don't want to be a pushy kind of annoying, but you want to be a squeaky wheel. So I would, not email them too quickly. I'd put it on my calendar a few weeks later. Okay, email them again. And so I did. I kept doing it. And finally, somebody replied back to me and they're like, hey, why don't you try our sister organization, Armed Forces Entertainment? They may take you over. And so I was like, cool, I've got another lead. So I found the website, and they used to have a tour with us tab, and you could fill out an application. It was very lengthy, of course, because they want to try to, um, they want to bring over good, entertainment. And so I would fill out the application, and if you got rejected, you had to wait 90 days to reapply. So I got rejected multiple times, and I would just put it on my calendar, 91 days, reapply. And I did. And 2013, I got my very first overseas tour, and I cried. I bawled my eyes out when I got that email. I couldn't believe it was actually happening. So, gosh, we went to Djibouti, Africa, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, Abu Dhabi, all these amazing places on that first tour. And I've done 7 since. And it's just literally the best thing I've ever done in my music career, is to go overseas and entertain our troops, be with them, give them a piece of home, because they sacrifice so much. There's a lot of holidays, birthdays. They miss their children's births. They miss first words, first steps. There's so much sacrifice. And I would say a median deployment would be about 9 to 12 months. So that's a long time, to be away from your family, and for us to go out there and, bring up morale. It's just like a big love fest. It's amazing. It's truly amazing.
And your story is inspirational as well, because I've had my successes in radio and media, but I've had a lot of setbacks, and I don't call them rejections. I call them setbacks. And just hearing your story and every guest that I have on here keeps me motivated to keep improving and keeping working hard and never give up.
Yeah, the way I think about it too is like, no to me just means not right now. There might be another time or place where they're gonna say yes.
What were some of your favorite songs that you performed on these tours overseas, and how long were you gone on each trip, approximately?
So I would say 23 days is the longest tour I've done. I would say about 3 weeks is like pretty normal, because I tell my booker, like, please send us as long as you want to have us there. And 7 days is the shortest that we've been on.
And how satisfying is it, not just for yourself, but seeing these guys enjoy your music and just put a smile on their face for a couple hours?
It's emotional. It's amazing. Like some of my, especially my first tour, going over there, when people were just so excited about a song or wanted us to play it again, or they were trying to sing the lyrics in the second chorus. Like because I play covers and originals to try to, you always just want to have that, especially when people don't know you, because you want to play some familiar songs for them and to enjoy. But when they start really rocking out to your original stuff, you're like, what world am I living in? This is amazing. And some of the bases we would go and they made these huge signs and, oh, Rachel, we're your number one fan, or, play bones, or like all, and when we went to Afghanistan, after the first bass that we played, the next bass we showed up, I heard whispers of, cause we played Enter Sandman by Metallica as our ending song.
Awesome.
Yeah, during that tour. So, I had already heard whispers of people saying, oh, she's going to play Enter Sandman, by Metallica. And that just made my heart so happy that word was already spreading, that we were already spreading joy. And that's the best. That is the best feeling in the world.
Absolutely, and your story is really inspiring as well. And when I hear that Enter Sandman song, I know I shouldn't talk sports, but I think of Mario Rivera of the New York Yankees, because he would always come out as a closer to that song. And like you said,
Wow.
music has a impact, because certain athletes come out to certain songs. Like Michael Jordan came out to "Sirius" by the Alan Parsons Project, and when you hear that song, you think of Michael Jordan. And music just has such an impact on our lives.
Yeah, getting us in a mental state, or escape. Like sometimes you need that escape, and there's certain songs or playlists that help you do that. And that's what we were to our troops, was an escape from crazy things going on in their lives.
Absolutely. And you've been to 23 countries. Were you able to go into the countries, or were you on the ship the whole time?
So sometimes we would be able to explore, and sometimes we weren't. It just depended
On the
on
country.
the timing and the country and what we had scheduled, and because it's awesome, because we don't go over there just to perform. We actually have unit visits, and we go and visit that base and a bunch of different units, and we get to know what our military does on a day-to-day basis, and they show us what they're doing over there and what they're working on. So it's not like we just go and then perform. Like we're in there with them, finding out how they live their day-to-day, what they do. It's amazing.
What's the most memorable one that you did overseas so far out of all the 23 countries?
Probably the most impactful for me are the countries where music is really a big deal to them. There's some countries where the troops can actually take their families, and they can live off base and just enjoy the things around that country. But like, Kuwait, Afghanistan, Djibouti, Africa gets shut down a lot, where they're locked in and they cannot go anywhere except be on the base, and or they're on the front lines ready to go into action at any time. That's the most impactful for me, because that's where they need it the most. And it all is wonderful. I by no means am trying to say one area is more important than another. There's a lot of things we don't know what's going on, and but it's just so many different times and areas and different times of the year. Like when we go over for Christmas and New Year's, that's really precious and special, because that's probably the hardest for them to be away from their family.
Any plans to do this for an eighth time in the future?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm always telling my contacts that I'm ready to go on another tour. So I don't have anything booked yet, but as soon as we find out, we'll let you know.
Definitely. Have you performed Lee Greenwood's song too on those tours?
You know what? I haven't.
Okay.
I actually did that song for a couple of talent shows back in the day, back in high school. But might be time to break that out.
Yeah, you know what? It's nice to be patriotic in the States and Canada. We should be proud of where we're from. And I just think what you're doing is awesome. And I'm just glad I connected with you on social media and have you on my show today.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor to be here.
Do you have a little more time?
Oh,
A little
yes,
more
I
time?
do.
Okay. I would like to show a clip of your latest song that was out released in September 2023 called Black Magic, and we'll play it here for my audience. Now, I have to say this because we're on YouTube and Facebook, and they're strict with copyright rules. Since this is your song, do I have your permission to play Black Magic on here?
You sure do.
Okay, well, thank you so much. And we're going to play Black Magic, and that came out, I believe, September 2023?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, let me know if you can hear the audio okay. Oops. 1 second, just a technical difficulty. 1 second. Sorry, I apologize. Just 1 second. We'll get this going.
Yeah, baby, you put a little voodoo on it, a little voodoo on it. When your kiss hits my lips, feels like a spell of a little juju on it, a little juju on it. The more I taste, more I crave, this ain't ending well. I can't stop it now, don't even wanna try. I know you know that I wanna play it up, baby, lay me down. Fly so high till we crash to the ground. Feel so good cause you're such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic, black magic. That purple flame, let it rain on us, let it rain on us. Rub the thrill of the chill from your fingertips. Baby, make it dangerous, make it dangerous. When you do, it's taboo, even devilish. Baby, on a night like this, I wanna play it up. Baby, lay me down. Fly so high till we crash to the ground. Feel so good cause you're such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic. Come on, play it up. Wanna feel that rush. Call me an addict cause I can't get enough. Feel so good cause it's such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic, black magic. I'm a believer, got that full moon fever. I'm a believer, a believer. I'm a believer, got that full moon fever. I'm a believer, yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a believer, got that full moon fever. I'm a believer, yeah, I'm a believer. I'm a believer, got that full moon fever. I'm a believer. So baby, play it up, don't lay me down. Fly so high till we crash to the ground. Feel so good cause you're such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic. Come on, play it up. Wanna feel that rush. Call me an addict cause I can't get enough. Feel so good cause you're such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic, black magic. Yeah, feel so good cause you're such a bad habit. Hit me with that black magic, black magic. I'm a believer, got that full moon fever. I'm a believer, I'm a believer. Yeah, baby, you put a
Thank you so much for letting us sharing this clip today. And that song, Black Magic, very catchy, very energetic and positive. And Rachel, thoughts on that song that came out in September 2023?
Thank you. This is another one Jeff Copeland and I co-wrote and he produced. And yeah, it's just a very sexy, up-tempo, so much fun. This song took us a couple of sessions, writing sessions to get right, but we wanted to get it right. And gosh, we're just like, we love it. It's so much fun.
Just yeah, positive, energetic, and it's a catchy song. And hey, I got to ask you this since I have you on. Jeff's from Canada. What part of Canada is he from?
Quebec.
Quebec, not far from me, about 5 hours, five, six
Yes.
hours. So I'm gonna have to. I know a little bit of French, but that's awesome, amazing. And the music industry over in Canada is huge here as well. And have you performed in Canada yet so far?
I have not. I would love to. I've been there. I've been to Toronto and I've been to Vancouver, just as a fan and as a tourist. And they're amazing cities. I can't wait to explore more.
Toronto's our version of New York City, and Vancouver I haven't been out to yet, but it's really nice out there as well. One city you'd like is very much is Niagara Falls, Ontario, where the Niagara Falls is. I think you would love it there. It's our version of Vegas.
So I have been to the Canadian Niagara Falls, and it is awesome.
Have you thought about? I was going to ask you this. Have you, when you write your music? I'm going to reword this question. When you write your music, do you get some of your inspirations from traveling to different cities and different countries?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love it. I love traveling. I'm a travel junkie, and I love seeing what every country is doing, their architecture, the history. I try to immerse myself in the food and the beverage, all the things.
Favorite place you've gone on vacation so far, traveling wise?
Oh man, on vacation, traveling. Um, oh man, it's so hard to say. It's so hard to say. I can't really pick one because there's so many amazing things about every country, every state, every city. It's really hard to pick a favorite. I mean, I did fall in love with like I was over the moon being in the Baltic states. We were there on tour on an AFE tour, and my great grandfather and grandmother are from Lithuania, so we got to go to Latvia and Lithuania, and that was special. Like I can't wait to go back and really get to explore. But
Are you a fan of flying?
oh yeah, yes.
I've never even been on an airplane yet, so I'm gonna have to try it one day.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Okay, because I know not everybody's crazy about flying, but my niece right now is in Florida learning to be an airline pilot.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Yeah, she has a passion for it, and that's something she wants to pursue. So maybe one day I'll have to go on a plane when she's the pilot.
Oh my gosh, that would be the best.
You know, you could write a song up on airplanes because you always hear some of these crazy stories from people up on those airplanes as well.
Oh yes, that is so true. That is so true.
All right, I wanted if you have a few more minutes, I was going to ask you a couple more questions. What was it like coming up with Bones? Your first single was Marv's Brown, and what was the inspiration behind the song? And I believe that came out 10 years ago, 2014, I believe.
Wow, yeah. So by the way, I did not write this one. Keith Gaddis wrote it. And one of my mentors had heard this song, and Keith was singing it because he released it. He was a killer artist in his own right. And my mentor was like, this is a female song. Like, you should do this, and you should cut it. So I did. And it's just like a great song, killer groove. This song got me on some major festivals that I probably would have never been able to get on without having such a killer song. We got to do a music video for this, and then adding Mars, a friend of mine who's a great rapper. He just did an amazing job. So you guys can find the original song, which has the bridge, and then the remix with Mars, where we took out the bridge and he did a rap, and it is so cool.
That's amazing. And I wanted to ask you about this as well. You released your first album back in 2017 called Dancing in Neon. What was that like, having your first album out?
It was really exciting. Oh man, I was working so hard, like trying to write and working hard, trying to get practicing my vocals, get my chops up, and to have a full album out was like surreal, and we've done 3 music videos, and it's so fun. Never take it for granted.
How difficult is it to decide what songs are going to go on an album?
Yeah, it's hard, like sometimes I get hundreds. We have hundreds of songs that we're listening to, and it's like, oh man, there's so many factors, and you want every song to be incredible. You don't want a certain song to be a filler. You want incredible songs because you want people to be in love with it too. And you also, I have a different brand than probably a typical girl. I call myself the dark horse of country rock, and I'm not afraid to say things that probably most people wouldn't say. Hence the new single coming out. But I'm okay to go there and to be rowdy and to kind of be like the popcorn, rowdy rock, and just be fun. And I want catchy, fun songs that, we don't mind singing, because when you're out there grinding, especially in the beginning as an artist, like you're playing 3 to 4 hour shows, and you're singing the same songs over and over and over again because most people haven't heard of you. And you've got to just be okay with singing those songs thousands of times and looking at that set list and going, oh, yes. Oh my God, yes, this one's next. Let's do it, And it can get boring for some people, that if you don't pick the right songs. So
How did you come up? Oh, I was going to ask you, how did you come up with Dancing in Neon and some of the songs? Is it just come right off your top of your head, or sometimes it takes a little time to come up with names?
I'm constantly writing down ideas, whether it's a killer line I thought of, or heard, or a twist on a killer line I heard, titles, constantly just writing down stuff. I have hundreds of ideas that I keep banked up. But also Dancing in the Neon was an outside cut as well. So it was a song that I heard and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. It was like ABBA meets country, and that disco country that wasn't really happening at the time. And it was fun.
Are CD albums still out, still around? Or are they really disappeared?
I mean, it's not like it used to be, but I still have people that want CDs all the time, especially when I perform at I do a lot of residencies at Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio.
Oh, I know that place very well.
Yes, roller coaster junkie as well.
No, I stay at the water park. I'm a water park
Oh,
guy.
you're a water park, and
Yeah.
it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But the last like 4 summers, I've been performing at Cedar Point, and I have tons of fans or people that just are now hearing about me that are like, I want to buy a CD. I want a physical copy, and that way I can sign it, and it's still a thing.
Any plans to perform at Cedar Point this summer?
Yes, I sent my target dates to the booker, and he said they'll be booking it in the next couple weeks. So hopefully we'll find out soon.
Okay, because I'm only 6.5 hours away from Cedar Point. It would be nice to hear you perform live in person and be able to meet you too.
Yes, please let me know. I'll keep you posted on our dates. It'd be so great to meet you in person.
Absolutely. Hey, I wanted to ask you this as a singer and a musician and performing as well. Do you have any rituals before a live performance? And also, what do you like to drink before or after a performance, like water or honey or tea or stuff like that for your vocals? And do you have a vocal coach or have one in the past?
Yeah, I've had several vocal coaches in the past. I highly recommend it. There's still major stars that have vocal coaches and love to go to them because they are very great. And it's not a sign of weakness at all to go to one. But room temp water is the best because you get cold water on your throat and it closes up your vocal cords. And I'm always doing vocal exercises and then cool downs afterwards. It's super important to take care of your voice. If you've been singing for a long time or if you're just starting out, like absolutely you need to warm up and you need to cool down. And man, 3 to 4 hours of singing is hardcore, like that can ruin you if you don't take proper care of your voice. And man, I'm in my off time when I'm not having shows, I'm still doing my vocal exercises almost every single day. I rehearse 90 minutes to 2 hours a day because you want to keep up with it. You want to be ready to go at any time for any reason. And man, water is my jam. I do drink some coffee in the morning. Coffee I love. And, I rarely drink soda and those sorts of things. It's just, but hot toddies are probably my favorite thing after a show. Little whiskey, hot water, and then I'm a fan of orange slice instead of lemon, which traditionally goes in there. But sometimes you can do a little tea in there too. But hot water and whiskey is the best.
So your average show is what, 3 to 4 hours?
Yeah, I would say so. Mm-hmm.
So how many songs would you normally getting in that time frame?
I'd say 30.
That's a lot. Wow.
It's a
Hey, and
lot.
I have a viewer on here. His name is Jimmy Joe. He's saying hello from Ireland.
Oh, hi, Jimmy.
Ireland. Hope everyone's day is going well. And I want to say
Oh,
thank you to Jimmy Joe for that. And he has a question for you as well. If you're okay answering it, Rachel. Question to Rachel: is there a UK tour on the list coming up?
oh man, not yet. But man, would I love to get to Ireland and the UK. I would love that. I'm going to keep you guys posted.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for your questions and for watching this show as well. And just get a few more quick questions to wrap it up with you, Rachel. What was it like winning the Nashville Hard Rock Rising competition and Pepsi Southern Original individually out of 6,000 plus bands?
Yeah, it was like it was shocking, like especially the Nashville Hard Rock Rising, that was an all genre competition. That wasn't just country. So and to win the Nashville one was really cool. I'm just like, I can't believe got to win those and then winning the Pepsi Southern Original competition. There was only supposed to be 10 of us in the finals and they put 13, but lucky for me 13 is my lucky number and we got to perform last, band number 13, and we ended up winning and getting to open for Blake Shelton and Neil McCoy that weekend down at the Gulf Coast Jam in Panama City Beach, Florida, and that was incredible. It was a great experience.
And what was it like opening up for Blake Shelton and Keith Urban and Charlie Daniels and Toto? And what's that like as a musician opening up for some of these legends?
It's incredible, but very scary at the same time. It's very intimidating. I mean, these are people that you grew up listening to and admiring, and like to share the same stage as a lot of these people is, it's like, wow, like if you would have told the 10-year-old girl, that she would be doing this, it would be, she'd probably pass out. But there's also a sense of belonging, that you belong in that realm, and it's exciting.
You're living your dreams right now.
Yes.
And speaking of that, what was it like performing the U.S. National Anthem at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the Bridgestone Arena for the Nashville Predators, and how much you like hockey and just performing in front of sports crowds as well?
Yeah, it's amazing. Singing our national anthem is probably single-handedly scariest thing I ever do. I always have to pep talk myself, because you never want to forget the lyrics, because people are going to let that if you miss, you just want to do it justice, because that song means so much. And I always have to tell myself, okay, it's between you, God, and the flag right now, and you're going to kill it, and it's such an honor to sing that song, and I've been put in so many amazing situations to sing that song, and I'm typically shaking in my boots, and but it's always an honor. And this past November, I got to sing the national anthem for MTSU is a pretty well-known college down here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they have a veteran celebration weekend, which is November 11th, around that area. And this is the second year in a row that I got to do it. And this year I had a flyover. So, oh my God, like to have that. And then, so they told me about the flyover the day before, and I'm like, oh, this is so cool, But then when I got there the day of, they were like, okay, so the timing has to be perfect. Like if you're going too slow or too fast, the flyover is not going to happen. They're going to abort. And I'm like, holy cow, that's a lot of pressure. And, but I'm like, this is good for me to know, because if I need to slow it down, I can do that. I sing it a cappella. If I need to speed it up, we can do that, and you want the flyover to happen, you don't want to disappoint anyone. And it just worked out. Oh, just so perfect. And man, was I shaking in my boots though. It's scary.
You know what, they were saying this too. This is for media like radio, TV, in the entertainment industry. If you're not a little bit nervous, then maybe it's time to look for a new career, because a little bit of nervousness before a performance is okay, because that means that you want to do a good job, that you still care. So it's just, and then once you get into it, you just focus into what you're doing, and then eventually the nerves are gone.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, once you start, you kind of get in a zone, and next thing you know, oh my gosh, it's over already. How did it go? Did I do okay?
Hopefully one day you get to sing "Old Canada" over here as well, our
Oh,
national
I would
anthem.
love that. It'd be amazing.
And Jimmy Joe's got one more comment. Rachel, you deserve the best in life.
Oh,
Awesome personality. Keep going, doing us all proud. Thank you
thank
so much,
you
Jimmy.
so much. That's so nice.
And we're going to wrap this up. Before you do a live performance, do you have like a ritual that kind of gets you calm or relaxed and focused before a performance?
I definitely I enjoy being alone, and just getting in a headspace, looking over my set list, nothing too like ritually. I have to do my vocals, like it's ideal to do it about an hour before you start performing. But sometimes you don't have that time. So maybe I have to do it 2 hours before. But as long as I get that done, and then I've been practicing on my own a lot. So it's like, okay, let's look over the set list. What are we starting with? What can I say, that can segue? It just a lot of mental preparation, and ad-libbing, about, in between songs when you need to like make those transitions.
And would you like to do a shout out to your crew? Because people don't realize is like, you're obviously the performer, but how much work there is in setting up and tearing down for a performance.
Oh yeah, it's no joke, and it takes a village, and my band is amazing. My husband is amazing. He helps so much, load in, load out, roadie, type of work. The front of house sound engineer. There's so much that goes into it. The promoters and the bookers, they're taking a chance on you, and that's nothing to be, you know, taken for granted.
Absolutely. And I do this with all my guests when we're wrapping this up. What are some fun facts about Rachel Lipsky? And what's the one thing you know about Canada?
Um, well, my husband actually has some very well-known songs that were number ones in Canada with Jason McCoy and the Roadhammers. So that's fun. And actually, Jason McCoy just got put into the Canadian Country Hall of Fame. And Denny, my husband, was a big part of Jason's career and wrote most of Jason's hits with him. So that's incredible. We can't wait to come up to Calgary and look at that Hall of Fame and the exhibit in there. But one thing I know about Canada is so many amazing, talented actors, musicians have come from Canada, and we love
Comedians.
yeah,
Yeah.
comedians.
Yeah.
Yeah, gosh, Buble, um, Justin Bieber, Celine Dion, Shania Twain. I mean,
Yeah,
could you
Justin Bieber's only like 35, 40 minutes from where I live in Stratford, Ontario, and he still comes back and visits. He hasn't forgotten his roots.
That's amazing. I love that. Could you imagine music and without all these people? No, like epic.
I wanted to ask you this too as well. How hard is it sometimes not to get you're obviously going to have an eagle, but how hard is it, or how hard is it, I guess, to keep yourself on even ground in this industry as well?
I mean, it's pretty I I think it's pretty easy to get because it's like to me, like nobody owes me anything. I'm constantly trying to fight to get ahead and in the right ways. And um there's tons of people that are gonna quickly put you on your butt, and that's okay. You just gotta keep going. And I just think the mentality of nobody owes you anything, is super important to remember. And that's probably the way I do it.
That's great advice for all of us as well. And Jimmy Jones got one more last comment. Will Rachel leave us with a song from Greece? The one that I wanted song.
Oh my gosh. I'm trying to remember the lyrics. Oh man. Jimmy Joe, you are stumping me on this one. I'm so sorry. Uh can I leave you with a different song, Jimmy Joe? Are you gonna be upset? If can I do one of my favorite, like Mary Chapin Carpenter? Yeah, that was an amazing cover. Um, well, I woke up this morning, stumbled out of my rack. I opened up the paper to the page in the back. It only took a minute for my finger to find my daily dose of destiny under my sign. My eyes just about popped out of my head. It said, the stars are stacked against you, girl. Get back in bed. I feel lucky. Oh, 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 I feel lucky, yeah. No Professor Doom gonna stand in my way. Ooh, I feel lucky today.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing that. And thank you to Jimmy John for watching our show as well. And I got one final segment. I'm doing this with all my guests now. Is there a question you would like to ask the host before we wrap this up? Do you have a question for the host?
Oh, so what is your favorite sport and what do you like covering?
I would say My favorite sport would be probably football and hockey, and also lacrosse. Now, lacrosse is like hockey and basketball. And if you ever get a chance, check out the National Lacrosse League. It's really great sport. These guys are great athletes, and I would say football, hockey, and lacrosse are my favorite sports. And I do love baseball. I cover the Blue Jays farm team in Buffalo as well. So in the summertime, there's nothing better than being at a baseball ball diamond, which where I spent my 50th birthday a year ago at a ballpark as well.
I love that. That's awesome.
But I am getting into more music. I like my 60s, 70s, and 80s classic rock and stuff like that. But the more guests I'm having on from the music industry, I'm now getting a little more into the country music as well.
Oh, that's great.
All right. And finally, when is your next performance? And where can my audience follow you on social media? And again, your website.
My next performance will be in the round in Mont Eagle, Tennessee, kind of halfway between Nashville and Chattanooga at Jim Oliver's Smokehouse. We're going to be doing a Nashville style in the round. So there'll be three of us songwriters taking turns doing a song for about an hour starting at 9 p.m. Central Time. You can visit me at rachellipsky.com. My website will show you all of my tour dates, get you to my merch store, get you to my music. I'm on Twitter, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, all the things.
And again, your latest single is coming out Friday, March 1st, right?
Yes, called I Don't Give a.
And it'll be available on all social media or all platforms.
Absolutely. Yes, it will.
All right. Well, Rachel, I want to say thank you so much for giving me over an hour of your time. I really appreciate it, and I really enjoyed talking to you. And I'll definitely send you a copy of this show on video and audio and the link to my radio station. It will probably most likely air Tuesday night at 8 o'clock. But I want to say thank you so much for coming on Live with CDP Sports Talk and Entertainment Show, and continued success in your career. And I'm looking forward to your new single coming out on Friday, March 1st.
Thank you so much for having me.
And I want to say thank you to one of our viewers, Jimmy Joe, for coming on here as well. And again, Rachel, hopefully we'll see you this summer at Cedar Point, because I'd love to hear you perform and meet you in person as well.
Absolutely.
All right, Rachel, I hope you have a great rest of the President's Day, and we'll keep in touch with you on social media.
Sounds good. Have a great day too.
You too. Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed season 7, episode 39 today with Rachel Lipsky, Nashville recording artist, star, country singer as well. And she's going to have a new song coming out very soon called I Don't Give a Beep, explicit or clean, on Friday, March 1st as well. Before we wrap up this show, guys, I have another show tonight at 9 o'clock. Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Tonight, Monday, February 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern, with my guest, Sonia Pearson. She is a podcast host of all things football from a lady's perspective, and I'm looking forward to talking to Sonia about her podcast show and getting into the National Football League. And she started up an all-female fan club for the Carolina Panthers. And Sonia is from Atlanta, Georgia, which is not far from radio station WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia. And I want to say thank you to Ryan O'Neill, the station manager at WQEE 99.1 FM, for 1 year ago putting my show on his radio station. So I've been on WQEE's 99.1 FM's lineup weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern now for 1 year. And I've got viewer comments. Jimmy Joe, again, thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it, and your comments and questions. Yes, Rachel has an amazing voice, and Rachel is great, and I was very lucky to have her on my show today. And thank you, Jimmy, for watching as well. And before we wrap up this show, guys, again, you can check out Rachel on she's available on all social media platforms, including Twitter /X, Rachel Lipsky. And her website is rachellipsky.com as well. And she's also on Linktree as well, Linktree /Riot South as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on these platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, /X, Twitch, LinkedIn, and now available on Instagram, thanks to StreamYard.com. And again, Live with CDP Sports Talk is a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by Chris Palmer, yours truly, weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk, the heartbeat of Atlanta. You can also check out my website, beacons.ai/Chris D. Palme. And I'm going to be back in Buffalo, New York this Saturday for the Buffalo Bandits game against the Albany Firewolves as a media member. So I will be writing a story about that and doing some more player and coaches interviews as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk, again, is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership here in Guelph at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com. You can also follow this content creator on TikTok at Live with CDP. And I want to say thank you to my 1,932 followers. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcastings like yours truly, check out StreamYard.com. Live with CDP Sports Talk, the audio version is available on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Spotify for podcasters, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Pandora, and Tuned In. Finally, you guys can email or text Live with CDP Sports Talk at cpalme19@gmail.com, or text the show at 519-820-7188. And if you have comments, questions, suggestions, any feedback would be greatly appreciated as well. And I'm also on Cameo. If you're looking for a personalized video message, check out Chris Palme on Cameo.com and consider booking me for a cameo. Now the proceeds will go to my radio show as well. And finally, a last comment from Jimmy Joe. One love, my brother. I enjoyed the show. Thank you so much, Jimmy. I really appreciate that. I just started this career 4 years ago, and my radio show's been on the air for 1 year now. So thank you so much. And that's about it. I want to say thank you again to my guest today, Rachel Lipsky, a Nashville recording artist, country singer, songwriter, for coming on today. And I want to say thank you to everyone watching this live streamed and also on my audio platforms. And to those who listen to this episode on WQEE 99.1 FM in Noonan, Georgia. And that's about it. I hope everybody has a happy Family Day holiday here in Canada and Ontario, and happy President's Day over to those in the United States as well. And I hope you guys can come back and watch Live with CDP Sports Talk tonight, 9 p.m. with Sonia Pearson, the host of the All Things Football from a Ladies Perspective podcast show. And we're going to talk about her podcast show, the NFL, and a little bit about herself as well. So I hope everybody has a great rest of the afternoon, and we'll see you back here at 9 p.m. Eastern again for season 7, episode 40 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph. Have a great afternoon, everybody.